On this day in military history, November 12th, the fate of the Pacific War was being decided in a brutal naval battle, and one of the most intense urban battles of the 21st century was raging in Iraq. November 12th, 1941. The Battle of Moscow, the Frozen Offensive. On the Eastern Front, Soviet forces in Moscow were bracing for the final German assault. By this date, the infamous Rasputitsa, the rainy, mud season that had bogged down the German panzers, was ending. The ground was freezing solid. Significance. This date marks a critical transition. The freezing ground, while bitterly cold, was a go sign for the German High Command. It allowed their tanks to move again, and they were preparing to launch Operation Typhoon's final, desperate lunge to capture Moscow, which would begin on November 15th. This moment was the prelude to the climax of the battle, which would see German troops reach the city's outskirts before being shattered by the extreme cold and a massive, unexpected Soviet counteroffensive. November 12, 2004. The Second Battle of Fallujah, Operation Phantom Fury. On this day in Iraq, U.S. Marines, U.S. Army soldiers, and Iraqi security forces were in the fifth day of Operation Phantom Fury, the intense and bloody operation to clear the insurgent stronghold of Fallujah. Significance. This was the bloodiest battle of the entire Iraq War and the most intense urban combat U.S. forces had faced since the Battle of Hue in Vietnam, 1968. By November 12, coalition forces had secured the main part of the city and were engaged in a brutal, house-to-house clearing operation. The battle became an iconic and defining event of the war, demonstrating the incredible difficulty of modern urban warfare and serving as a major, though temporary, blow to the insurgent infrastructure in the Al-Anbar province. November 12, 1918, the day after the armistice. While the armistice ending World War I was signed on November 11, November 12 was the first full day of peace on the Western Front in over 4 years. Significance. This day was one of surreal silence and disorientation. Soldiers on both sides, who had known nothing but the constant noise of artillery and machine guns, emerged from their trenches into a quiet, devastated landscape. It marked the official end of the German Empire as Emperor Karl I of Austria-Hungary abdicated, dissolving the Austro-Hungarian Empire and completing the collapse of the Central Powers. Thanks for visiting Let's Talk Tech. For more cool, tactical, and informative videos, click like, subscribe, and don't forget to share.